Thank you so much for joining us here today on the Naturally Inspired Daily. If you haven't yet, I want to invite you to become a subscriber over on livenaturallyinspired.com. Right now, if you can sign up for free, actually, for the first 30 days when you use promo code Tammy, that's TAMMY, over at livenaturallyinspired.com. We are here to help people feel good so they can do what they love for longer. So let's get started with today's Health Watch. Today, we're talking about the many benefits of gardening. There are so many benefits. Let's take a look at this article from Healthline. It's titled Seed, Soil, and Sun, Discovering the Many Healthful Benefits of Gardening. So just off the top of the list here, we look at gardening, being outside, helps fight disease, builds strength, improves memory, boosts mood, which is so true. Reduces stress, helps addiction recovery, which I found very interesting, fosters human connections, heals and empowers, and combats eco-anxiety. What the heck is eco-anxiety? I'm not sure, but we'll get into that a little bit as we discover this article. So I want to focus a little bit on this helping fight disease. Obviously, we've learned through the COVID pandemic that vitamin D is crucial. Vitamin D levels are crucial in fighting viruses. But did you know that there's actually significant evidence that it helps with breast cancer, colorectal cancer, bladder cancer, prostate cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, MS. There's literally hundreds of body functions that are reliant upon vitamin D, but yet over and over again, we see people being deficient in vitamin D. And that could be a number of things. I think probably the biggest factor is lifestyle. We are cooped up at home so much nowadays. We work on the computer, obviously. Many of us work in offices, and we're just not making time to get outside as much as we should be to keep those vitamin D levels up. So that's a huge thing about gardening. Now, if you have something to water outside and you're responsible for taking care of plants, then you have to get outside. So this is kind of just by default that you're going to be outside a whole lot more, and you're going to get your daily dose of vitamin D. That also goes towards helping with any mood issues that you may be having. We have seen a 34% increase in Americans taking mood disorder prescription medications. So although, you should always consult your doctor, of course, for health advice, there should be some more emphasis put out there on the fact that there are other ways to deal with these mood disorders. You do have options. You don't have just the one option of pills. There are multiple options out there. So gardening is actually associated with improved mood, and it improves your self-esteem, which I found interesting. When people spend time in a garden, their anxiety levels drop and they feel less depressed. Well, one of the reasons I could say that I could see that working is simply because your attachment and grounding to the earth brings peace. I have done a number of pieces on grounding and how effective it is in mood disorders. It's just got this profound effect when you take your shoes off and walk in the dirt in your bare feet. It just provides a sense of grounding and a sense of calm. If you haven't had your shoes off in the dirt lately, I highly recommend doing that. Of course, the other benefits of gardening is you get to make your own food, right? You get to actually see your own food. And I'm always pleasantly surprised when I've encouraged someone to start a garden, and then I get a text or a phone call about their potato, right? They're holding their potato in hand. I grew this with my very own hands. There's such a sense of pride with it. And still to this day, I've been gardening for years. My mom was a gardener. She planted with us when we were kids, and she had a huge garden. And so it's something I just grew up with. I actually didn't even realize other people didn't know how to garden or weren't gardeners, because it was just something so fixed into our lifestyle. So I'm really excited still when I plant a seed and watch it sprout. And then by mid-July, I've got this giant sunflower. I've got this, overwhelming yield of greens or Swiss chard or pumpkins or whatever it is I'm growing. It's a fascinating process. It's what we're meant to do. And when you experience it, you'll totally understand. Unfortunately, some platforms censor the information in this show. Watch the rest of this episode by going to naturallyinspireddaily.com. Find amazing interviews with people like David Icke, Max Egan, frontline doctors, and more at naturallyinspiredpodcast.com. Connect with me directly at tammycuthbertgarcia.com. Support our amazing team, help us defeat censorship, and become a subscriber for only $5 a month at livenaturallyinspired.com. Find me on all social media platforms at connectwithtammy.com.